So Drizzy Drake been off on tour in Australia, kicking it with the Aussies, having meltdowns on stage, trying to, brush off the L after L that K Dot's put on him. And you see, even overseas in the land down under, pause, kinda, I think that you gotta throw a pause in there. Someone's trolling Drake, throwing the Derozan jersey on stage. And I think this is funny as fuck, man. I love when sports teams, social media team department or whatever really puts in the extra effort on social network. Like everyone comment if you seen a particular team or whatever who they went extra out with the comedy. Like, I know hockey ain't that big, but the Golden Knights had a guy who was pretty funny. My Buffalo Bills have a pretty good social media individual running things, but this was great by Sacramento. As you see, they edited Drake throwing the Derozan jersey off stage in a hissy fit type way, right? And edited to having a fan catching it. Like Drake was here, you know what I mean? Throwing it to a Kings fan. And I thought this was pretty slick. And you see they do the caption on there and everything. And I'm not quite sure if Drake has responded to this yet or whatever, but I know this definitely is going to ruffle his feathers. And just this whole situation, to me, clearly shows you how bothered he is by all this, by L after L from K Dot, by being the loser out of the beef, the competition, whatever you want to call it. As this beef was far more than Kendrick versus Drake. It represented so much more in so many ways, in my opinion. Kendrick's just a real MC. Drake is a bubblegum pop artist. And his whole thing with Derozan goes back. As you see, they had a pretty close bond. They appeared on Slam magazine together. Derozan said back in like 21, that he'll always have love for Drake, where he said, what was the exact quote? No matter what, when it comes to him, he'll forever have a friend in me and loyalty out of me because he cared. Derozan said of Drake in 21 after leaving the Raptors, quote, he was there for me when everything was kind of crazy. The relationship appeared to go sour when Derozan made a cameo in Kendrick's Not Like Us video after K Dot shouted out the Hooper on a track. Now, what does everyone think about this? Some people may look at the situation and say, yo, that's foul, that's fucked up. He's out here saying Drake will always be a friend to him. Drake cared. You know what I mean? They were rocking out in the T Dot together and everything like that. But Kendrick shouted him out on the track, and it's like he's caught up in the middle. But in an interview, he was specifically asked about this question about him appearing in the video. Like, comment if you think that was fucked up, that he was in the video when he said these things about Drake. And then this is the ultimate, not just Drake diss. A lot of people are calling this the ultimate diss track ever, period, at this point, And for all the, hip hop heads out there, whatever, where, like, do you got Not Like Us at the #1 slot for diss tracks at this point, or what? Where do you put it in the rankings? But he got asked about it and responded as such.
As a fan of Kendrick Lamar myself, it's cool to see you in that video. How did that come about, and does that mean they can't play Drake in this building anymore?
I mean, he loved Drake. He loved Drake. We always could play him. Kendrick been a friend of mine, family, damn near family. For a long time, for a while. We from the same city, grew up damn near in the same neighborhood. So it's always been there. It haven't always been publicized, but that's basically family.
So you hear Derozan, man, he's like, I was in the video. It ain't like Drake can't be in this, played in this building anymore, even though he's not with the Raptors, even though he was in the K Dot video, K Dot shouted him out. He made it clear I still got love for him, you know. But Kendrick, we're from the same city, damn near the same block. He's a friend, almost like family, and maybe it's not always been put out there like that, but like that's fam, that's the homie, you know what I mean? So what do you guys think? Do you look at the whole situation once again, like, do you look at it all as being a grind ball move, a slime ball move, or not, you know? Because he let it be known he rocks with Drake. K-Dot shouted him out. The world may have not known to this extent that they got this close relationship. Called him fam, from the same neighborhood and all that. And then made it clear to the media, nah, there's still love to Drake, you know. But Drake, he's like, hey, you're a number one op now. As you know, there was a situation just in November where him and some Toronto goon that he had with him was heckling Derozan, you know, on some like fake tough guy stuff courtside. It looked extra goofy, if you ask me. And prior to the game, or actually during the game, Drake tapped in, you know, with the broadcasters and, you know, dissed Derozan.
Thurs global ambassador, as in the Toronto Raptors, has been reportedly banned from commenting on their games. The one-year ban reportedly stems from his controversial remarks about former Raptors star Demar Derozan. You may recall back in November when Drake appeared on a live broadcast and called Derozan a goof. Take a listen.
Speaking of national treasure, yes, if you ever put a Derozan banner up, I'll go up there and pull it down myself. That's the answer to your question. Is that what you're going to ask?
No, I didn't mention
you
that.
know, sorry, I didn't.
Kyle.
Yeah, well, shout out to Kyle.
The statues are next. Well,
yeah,
they are. I'm a New Yorker.
What is it?
These remarks sparked backlash, and the Raptors organization have now decided to respond. But before I respond, I'd be remiss in neglecting to show you DeMar DeRozan's response immediately upon hearing what Drake had to say about him.
Tonight's broadcast, Drake said, if you ever put up the DeRozan banner up, I'll go up there and pull it down myself. What's your reaction to that?
Well, he gonna have a long way to climb to take it down. So tell him good luck.
Drake is looking weaker and weaker every day. I said the other day, I understand how he can be a bit sensitive when he's got to take his kids out of school. The mother of his kid, along with his child, has to move out of Toronto because of the treatment they were receiving in light of Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us song blowing up the spot. I got it. But I also felt like if somebody gets the better of you in the studio, you either stand down and say they got me, or you come back with something stronger. When you're as great as Drake is, why can't you do that? But this DeMar DeRozan thing took it a bit too far. DeMar, Russell Westbrook, and those guys, they're from that area. They're from the same spot as Kendrick Lamar. When they're listening to the song, they like the song or whatever, you on stage at Wisconsin dancing the way that they were. Drake was salty about that. What the hell's wrong with you? DeMar DeRozan starred for the Toronto Raptors for 9 years. DeMar DeRozan hasn't averaged less than 20 points a game in the last 12 years of his NBA career. DeMar DeRozan, his crime is one crime and one crime only. He could not beat LeBron James. That's about it. He was an elite NBA player for the Toronto Raptors and was always cool with Drake. And because Kendrick Lamar got you, you got to turn around and it's like, yo, you going to hate on DeMar DeRozan? Now, I personally think that this was said in November. I don't know why the hell the Raptors are coming out now talking about Drake is banned from talking about him, commentating for a year. Well, free speech is free speech. Who the hell are you to say you can't speak for a year? You understand? I'm just saying that if you're Drake, really, do you want this reputation, bro? You want the reputation as being somebody that is that weak? Can't get you. Listen, ain't nobody listen. And if you look at the lyrics, he didn't specifically and directly call you Kendrick Lamar. He did not do that. But ain't nobody thinking about whether or not you're a when they listen to the music. They just saying, damn, he ripped you to shreds. What you gonna do about it? You gonna respond or you gonna stand down? That's all. That's all. Ain't nobody looking at you differently. They looking at you as a bit soft because every time we turn around, there's a reaction from you that sparks a reaction from somebody else because you've taken what Kendrick Lamar did to you to heart very, very significantly. You damn near making people look at you and wonder what you are because of how, not because of Kendrick Lamar's music, but because of how you're reacting to it. And other people vibing with the song. Demar Derozan ain't looking at you like some pedophile or something like that. He liked the song, liked the beat. Saw Kendrick Lamar going at you. They from the same hood. He on stage dancing, support him. So what? So what? That's just me. I just think that in these kind of situations, as great as somebody like Drake is, you're minimizing your own cachet. You're compromising it, rather. Because you're making people look at you in a different light. Because of how you're compelling people to react to you. Because of how you've reacted to people just because of a song. Universal Music Group represents both y'all. I get it. But they in the money-making business. If you came out with a song, and you've tried, but if you came out with a song that checked Kendrick Lamar to the degree that he checked you, and they could make money off of that, Kendrick Lamar would not like it. But I think when we look at him and we see him, you know what we suspect? He would not have went to the courts. He wouldn't have been about suing the music group or you for you getting at him in front of the mic or behind the mic. He'd either stand down or he'd come back at you. Anytime we see a different story. Now it's a basketball player and the team, the Toronto Raptors, who DeMar DeRozan doesn't even play for any longer. He played in San Antonio. He played in Chicago. Now he's with the Sacramento Kings. Hasn't played for them in years. Even they said you were banned from commentating for a year. Even they are salty and want to separate themselves from you. Come on, Drake. It's just a song, bro. You too great for this. You too great to be in the news for this kind of stuff, man. Too much you bring to the table, bro. Come on, man. Come on. Coming up, President-elect.
You heard him, like if there ever was a DeRozan, number or banner up in the rafters, he would climb up there and rip it down. And, it was all jokes to Demar, like, he'll have a long way to climb or whatever, you know what I mean? But here we are now, months later, November to now, December, January, February, history was made. That the Not Like Us movement kept pushing in so many ways. The song is just off the charts with the accolades and achievements. And Drake goes all the way to Sydney, Australia to do this tour. And the fans is letting him have it, trolling him. I don't know. I find it to be rather hilarious, especially in the manner of which he threw it out. Like, I just thought it looked extra goofy. But hit the comments, share your thoughts. Stay tuned for updates. Drake, so emotional, to me, his reactions to everything says it all.